Hey guys, what's up? What's going on today? So bear with me, I'm about to stretch something really far. Okay? So I'm gonna try to kind of just throw some philosophy at you guys, trying to get some thinking going, trying to get those wheels spinning, you know what I mean? Just to see what I can get. Now, everything I said here is not going to be completely valid, it's not gonna affect all my values, but it's just something I wanna talk about to see, just to kind of think about, right? So, as we're growing up, every single one of us has gone through school of some sort, right? Well, I mean, I won't say every single. Likelihood is 99% of us will have at least gone through like elementary school, middle school, you know. And something we've all had to deal with as well is that notorious thing called homework, right? Something that no one wants to even think about, no one wants to do. So, you know, I think every single one of us has kind of sat there on a Tuesday night and we've looked at our books and we've gone, damn, I don't want to do this, right? Like every single one of us, that thought has gone through all of our minds. And you think, why is it that they can do this to us? Why do they get to control what we do at night? You know, I mean, most of us have things we do, extracurricular activities, such in sports, clubs, whatever. Even if you don't do that, maybe you have things to do when you go home, right? You don't just maybe it's playing video games, okay? Like, you play video games for your enjoyment and you want to be able to do that, and you know what, you should be happy. We shouldn't, they shouldn't be limiting our childhood because we need to learn. That's a point I'll bring up later. But anyways, all sat there and we've thrown our hands in the sky and we've said, fuck it, I'm not doing this. This isn't fair. Okay? I don't know, I've done it, and I'm sure a lot of you have done it too. Maybe you guys haven't actually not done your homework, and you ended up doing it anyways. You just kind of thought that, and you didn't, throw your hands in the air and just scream. But I have, and so let's kind of talk. Let me be the education system first. The one thing that's commonly misinterpreted, and I've talked to teachers about this before, is that not every teacher likes to give homework. They don't. Some teachers do give homework to give homework, right? Some just say, okay, as a part of the school system, I need to give the students homework. But if you talk to your teachers and you ask them, you say, why do you give us homework? Like, what's your real reasoning behind giving homework? Hopefully what you'll get an answer from a lot of them is they give homework because they have a certain amount of stuff they have to talk about during the year, right? So as in they have to talk about, they have a unit that they need to cover within 7 days. Now what they do is when they plan their teaching schedule out, they look at it and they say, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to talk about this. And then they say, well, man, now I'm going to have to cram all this information into 2 days. So they say, well, instead of doing this, maybe I can spend less time Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday talking about this topic and just talk about it, maybe Monday and a little bit of Tuesday, and I'll just give them homework on it so that they can understand it a little bit better. So it's just their way of keeping up with the curriculum that they have to follow. And once again, it's kind of a thing of, if they don't follow the curriculum and they don't teach us what we need to learn, then they put themselves at risk of possibly losing their job. And obviously they don't want that. They don't really care if we have to do homework. They'll much rather keep their job. The reason a lot of students like myself disagree with homework is because we feel that a lot of people don't pay attention to how busy our lives are. Kids nowadays, their lives are extremely busy. I mean, I speak for myself when I say that, and I speak for a lot of other people as well. It's not that we just go home like I think a lot of teachers think we do, and we just kind of sit there and just stare at a TV and watch cartoons all day. No, most of us have a sport we play after school. We have clubs we have to do. We have to, do community service, things like that nature. Why? Because we're just trying to, make ourselves stand out when it comes to applying for college. And it's something that you have to do or else you'll fall behind. And so, we're stuck doing all this other stuff. And not only that, but we're still kids. We want to be able to have a childhood, and we want to, not just, partake in events on weekends. We want to be able to, on weekdays to go out and play football with some friends. We don't want to have to be stuck inside and say, like, sorry, man, like, I gotta go to my practice and then I gotta do homework. Right? Like, that's lame, but a lot of us have to do that because, flat out we have homework. So, that's one thing that a lot of people feel is that, we're left out and they don't really understand how much work we have to put into everything that we do. The reason that I personally think that homework isn't, the greatest thing ever invented is that it takes away a lot of the passion we have for learning. So one thing I'd like to do is think back to, like, first grade, kindergarten, you know, those kind of days, early before. One second. Yeah, I just I just got a message. It was about from the school because our area has been affected with triple E. For those of you that don't know, that's a mosquito-carried disease that makes people very sick and is actually should be taken very seriously, despite my tone. Yeah, so whatever. So that's kind of what I was talking about. Let me go into the other thing I wanted to talk about, though. I think I was just talking about how homework ruins all our spare time. And we should be spending it doing more interesting, engaging things that make us better people as a whole. You know, like sports make us better people. We learn different things from that we can't learn in the classroom. But anyways, what I wanted to talk about was what else homework ruins about the education system, and that is our passion in learning. Now, whether you think you do or not, and a lot of you are probably thinking, man, I've never liked school, I've always hated learning. Think back to your kindergarten, preschool, first grade kind of days. Now, there's a lot of things different, obviously, back then. But when I think back to it, I kind of think of, wow, like, I kind of liked school. Like, I didn't mind going to school. When I woke up in the morning, I was okay with it. I was like, oh, whatever, man, I'll go to school. I get to see my friends and everything. And why did we like school a bit more back then? I mean, obviously, there's a lot more differences. Like, we had nap time, and, we played more games and things like that. It was a lot more fun. But the other thing was that I could go to school and expect that I could come out with free time. Like, I could come out and I could go home and play with my Thomas the Train engine stuff. Like, I didn't have to worry about going to school and then thinking, wow, like, I'm gonna go today, I'm gonna get so much homework, and I have to work today, and I'm gonna be so busy when I get home. Things like that. Like, you didn't have to think about that back in the day. Now you do. And what that does is it just ruined the enjoyment in school now. Like, when you go to a class, let's be honest, the first thing that usually is brought up is the homework. And I think that you actually waste a lot of school time dealing with it. The teacher has to collect the homework. Some are a little bit more proficient, obviously, at it, but a lot of the teachers do just kind of, they're like, okay, like, any questions on the homework, and and then they spend forever trying to collect it and things like that, and you waste maybe 10 to 15 minutes of valuable class time that you could have just spent doing the homework that you had in the first place, right? So I don't know, I dislike it for that, and I think that it ruins the interest a lot of people have in the schooling system. Maybe you'd like physics a little bit more, and you'd want to further your career in it if you didn't have, an hour and a half of homework for it every single day. You coincide that with, just misery, and you don't want to go back to physics. You want to move on to something else, and that's what I think we lack over a lot of these, Asian country leaders like India and China that are now, have better schooling systems than we do. And obviously, let me clear myself up here. I'm not racist by any means, any stretch of the imagination. It's just a fact. Look it up. They have better schooling systems than we do, and I give them props for it. They've built up a very nice system, and they're progressing nicely. And obviously, to rise up and be one of the leaders in the world, you have to have a strong education system. If you don't, then you're not going to. And let's be honest now. I think America's sliding. Whether you want to think it or not, whether you're a redneck, whatever, I think America is sliding down the ranks right now. So lastly, I just want to talk about something I was introduced to last year, and that was a new system called the flipped classroom model. In the flipped classroom, what happened was students would go home and learn about the subject there, so they would watch a lecture online by the teacher. And then when they would get to school, they would do the work. So it was pretty much like they would do what we learned in classrooms at home, and then the homework that we do at home now, they would go to school and they would do it there. And I like that a lot more, actually, because I think that it would help students understand what they're doing a little bit better, since they have a teacher alongside with them. Let's be honest now. How many of us, I'm raising my hand right now, how many of you guys out there go home and just Google the answers? I do. And let's be honest, you learn nothing from it. You learn literally nothing about it, and you put yourself at a disadvantage, but you do it because you just don't want to do the homework. So I think the flipped classroom would actually be something very beneficial to a lot of the U.S. school systems, but we'll see. It's something that's up for debates. And thanks for watching, guys, and as always, have a great day. Enjoy the fall weather. I'm loving it. I hope you are too. Peace.